His team's fan base is restless after 4 straight losing seasons, but Dolphins general manager Jeff Ireland made one thing clear Tuesday, the day that free agency started: he's not messing around this offseason. The Dolphins just owned the day, NFL Network lead anchor Rich Eisen said on air. The Dolphins made several impact moves Tuesday to get younger and faster, drastically changing the face of the franchise and putting the rest of the NFL on notice that they plan to win in 2013. Great times. I am pumped, one Dolphins veteran texted to the Post. The Dolphins wasted little time in agreeing to terms with the top wide receiver on the market in Mike Wallace, one of the NFL's fastest receivers and only 26 years old. An hour later, they pulled off the biggest shocker around the league by reaching the large deal with 27-year-old middle linebacker Dannell Ellerbe, just 1 month after he helped Baltimore win the Super Bowl. 2 hours later, the Dolphins agreed to terms with free agent outside linebacker Philip Wheeler, who played with Oakland last season, and they also re-signed safety Chris Clemons, who started all 16 games last year, to a 1-year deal. But not all of the news Tuesday was good. To make room for Ellerbe and Wheeler, the Dolphins cut to starting linebackers Karlos Dansby, 31, and Burnett, 30, saving them $7.1 million in salary cap dollars. The Dolphins also lost starting tight end Anthony Fasano, who reached a 4-year deal with Kansas City. And Jared Cook, the best tight end available in free agency, agreed to a 5-year deal with St. Louis after narrowing his options to the Rams and Dolphins. The Dolphins also might be on the verge of losing 2 other veteran leaders. Left tackle Jake Long is reportedly visiting the Rams on Wednesday, and running back Reggie Bush is visiting Detroit. Arrivals. The theme of this offseason for the Dolphins has been to surround quarterback Ryan Tannehill, who will be entering his 2nd season, with better weapons. In the span of 4 days, they signed 2 receivers to 5-year contracts worth more than $95 million, and more than $42 million guaranteed, according to reports. First they re-signed Ryan Hartline, coming off his first 1,000-yard season, on Friday to a 5-year deal worth $30.775 million. And on Tuesday they added Wallace, the former 3rd-round pick who spent his first 4 seasons with Pittsburgh. Wallace, who has 32 touchdowns in 4 seasons, agreed to the biggest contract across the NFL so far. 5 years for $65 million, $13 million average with close to $30 million guaranteed, according to reports. Wallace arrived at the Dolphins facility shortly after free agency opened at 4 p.m. and reached the deal that was contingent on passing a physical. The Dolphins' offense last season was 27th in scoring 18 points per game and tied for last with just 3 passes of 40-plus yards. The entire receiving corps combined for just 3 touchdowns. Wallace should fix some of that. He scored at least 8 touchdowns in each of his last 3 seasons, with 21 catches of 40-plus yards. Ellerbe, signed by the Ravens as an undrafted free agent out of Georgia in 2009, supplants Dansby as the centerpiece of the defense. His signing was unexpected, as he was reportedly leaning toward staying with Baltimore. He agreed to a 5-year, $35 million deal with the Dolphins, according to reports. Ellerbe has never been a full-time starter. His 7 starts last year were the most in his 4 seasons, but he excelled last year as Baltimore's outside linebacker, compiling 92 tackles, 4.5 sacks and a forced fumble. Wheeler, 28, will replace Burnett, 30. Wheeler, a 3rd-round pick by Indianapolis in 2008, had 109 tackles and 3 sacks last year for Oakland. He reportedly signed a 5-year deal worth $26 million, with $13 million guaranteed. Miami began the day with $30 million in salary cap room and still should have room to sign more free agents. Departures. Dansby was the Dolphins' big free agent signing in 2010 when he inked the 5-year, $43 million deal. But he didn't make many impact plays, just 6 sacks and 1 interception at inside linebacker. The Dolphins will save over $3.9 million in salary cap space by cutting Dansby, and likely will apply the savings directly to Ellerbe. Burnett, who signed a 4-year, $20 million contract before the 2011 season, had a career-high 110 tackles along with 2 1/2 sacks last year. But the Dolphins will save $3.2 million against the cap by cutting him. and will apply it directly to Wheeler. Miami also has a hole at tight end after losing out on Cook and letting Fasano go to Kansas City, which agreed to a 4-year deal worth $16 million, according to reports. The Dolphins will likely need to add a running back with Bush set to visit Detroit and Arizona. And they might need an offensive tackle depending on what happens with Long. He is visiting the Rams on Wednesday, but Long still could return to the Dolphins if he doesn't find a big deal elsewhere. The source close to the situation said the Dolphins appear ready to move rookie Jonathan Martin to left tackle next season. He started 12 games at right tackle and the last 4 on the left side after Long suffered the season-ending triceps injury.